What up? What up? We're live back in action, attacking your speakers from the field to the bleachers. This is the Power 32 podcast, and we are here for another hour of power of NFL action. Nothing but baby, with my man, co-host, my partner, my dude, Mr. Prime Time 313 in the house. What's going on, kid?
What up, Doe, man? What's going on? How you doing?
Beautiful. Everything is great, wonderful in the world. Everything is looking beautiful on the horizons. I got to say, the NFL is coming up in like less than 3 months, 2.5 months, or whatever it is away. It's not that far. We got preseason games before you know it. Teams are reporting to camps, man. We got a lot of stuff happening, bro. We are ready to go. It is that time.
It's like 48 days or 50 days or something like that, man, before the start of the season. And I personally can't wait, man. I really can't.
This is fantastic. This is the time of year to start getting hyped up, baby. And this is when Power 32 really takes off, man. So, wait, you guys out there, welcome to call in the show. I put up the number for you guys, 954-858-5683. We're going to hit a whole bunch of topics today, starting with TJ Watt. But as we traditionally do, we start off with the trivia question.
I'm on a roll, baby.
He is on a roll. He is. That's why I had to make it a little bit harder this week for you. A little bit harder, all right?
Who's the quarterback for the Detroit Lions? There you go, baby.
Yeah, right.
Eric Kramer for the block.
You have been knocking him down, my friend. You've been killing it. So let's see if you can do this one. A little bit tougher. All right. Rich Gannon.
Uh-oh. That's not a good start.
Already he's freaking out.
Oh, Lord.
Already he's freaking out. Let's see. Rich Gannon won an MVP for the Oakland Raiders later on in his career as he took that team to the Super Bowl and lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The question for you is, how many teams, I'll tell you, he played for 3 teams before that. Your job is to name those 3 teams, and you have 5 guesses.
Oh, Minnesota.
Minnesota is one. That is correct. Minnesota's one. You got 2 more.
Besides the Raiders, you're saying? Besides
the Raiders. So the Raiders are one, and there are 3 other teams. Minnesota's one. Now you got 2 more.
For some reason, I'm picturing him in a Kansas City Chiefs uniform.
Look at this guy go. That's one more left, and you got 3 guesses to do with it. Wow, I'm impressed. The Kansas City one was the hardest one.
Oh my God. I'm trying to do the divisions. I'm trying not to do a lot of dead air. I'm trying to picture him, man.
Kansas City was only 1 year, man. That's good. You got one more to go.
Kansas City, freaking Minnesota,
KC, Oakland, and Rich Gannon played for one other team in his NFL career.
Tampa Bay?
Not good guess. Not Tampa. A lot of quarterbacks played for Tampa, but nope, that's not one of them. You got 2 more guesses at this. I feel confident you could do it.
Oh my God.
Rich Gannon.
Rich
Go to
Gannon.
that memory bank.
Man. Wow, that's because, when you think of, quarterbacks, great quarterbacks, Rich Gannon's right up there at the top of the, bottom of the 100. So,
yeah.
Man, I'm gonna probably say it's an AFC team.
So far, I'm impressed.
The Colts.
I gotta be honest. It's not the Colts. You got one more guess at this thing, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's an NFC team.
Is it an NFC team?
It's an NFC team. That's the one guess I'll give you. I'm impressed so far. The Kansas City one was tough. I can't believe you got that.
Is it? Oh my God! I can't phone a friend.
No lifelines here, bro.
No lifelines.
Regis Philbin is not going to help you.
Who wants to be a millionaire? I do. I know Jason does.
Yeah, I'll take one. I'll be that.
Shit. You know what? I'll throw it out there, man. It's in my head. I know I'm going to kick myself when you finally tell me who it is. I'm going to say the Bears.
Oh, damn. I thought you were going to get it. It's the Washington, at that time, Redskins. He played for Washington.
What year was that?
That was like in the mid-90s, I believe it was. I got to go back and look at it, but I believe that was the mid-90s. Yeah, but he played for Washington. But I'm still pretty impressed.
Was that Clinton Portis or was that Gore?
That was – who was his running back in Washington during those years? That's a good question right there. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it was Clinton Portis or not. I'm not sure. But yeah,
how long did he play for them?
I think he played for Washington for 4 years, and, it's funny how he
Yep.
really didn't become that great player that he, ended up being. I don't wanna say great, whatever, but, really good player until, later on in his career. He really and winning an MVP, in his late
It was
30s and everything.
it was kind of like Vinny Testaverde. Vinny Testaverde had, if you look
Yeah.
back at his, Vinny had 2 careers. He
Yeah.
had one where he looked like he was going to be the worst in the history of the NFL, and then he kind of revived. He was never great, but he wasn't as bad as he was the first half of his career. Kind of like that's kind of the trajectory that when I look at guys like Baker Mayfield, I kind of see Baker on. Baker's had a couple of different careers, and I
Yeah.
think he really found a home in Tampa. But man, Rich Gannon with the Skins, I'm gonna have to
Rich
go back
Gannon
and
with the
just to
Skins,
see who was all on that roster, because that's when they were kind of good.
That was still pretty impressive, though, man. I gotta give it to you. Got to rock and roll on that one. Not bad
Well,
right there, my
the
friend.
song says 2 out of 3 ain't bad, so but
There you go.
close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. So
That's it.
shit, broke the streak.
Well, still, well done out of you. You got 3 out of 4 because you knew Oakland, that's for sure, obviously. But anyway, so yeah, dude, the big news of the day, and it just came down a few hours ago. T.J. Watt getting paid crazy amounts of money right now, the highest non-paid cornerback in the NFL. He's surpassed Myles Garrett, Jamar Chase, everybody. $41 million a year, 3 years, $123 million, $41 million a year, like I said. And everybody keeps saying, well, he's 30 years old. He's 30 years old. So what? He's 30 years old. When you're 30 years old, you're not ancient. Talk to me when you're 35, 36. That's a different story. But for the next 3 years, you're going to get primetime TJ Watt as long as he stays healthy. That's kind of the issue, I guess, Prime, is that he's not always been able to stay healthy.
And when you look at it, man, what is it? Guaranteed. And I know that Pittsburgh was probably holding their breath when they signed that contract with him, a few hours ago, or whatever, because the likelihood, he's had some injuries here and there. I think, though, when you look at him, we both knew, and we both talked about it on the show, there was no way that Pittsburgh was going to let him walk.
No
they
way.
weren't going to trade him. They weren't going to, I kind of brought up franchising, but, the more I thought about it throughout the week, and then, that just to me didn't seem like a realistic option either. But Pittsburgh knew what they were doing, but now, Jay, the market is set. So now you got that other team in that same division that's sitting there with a disgruntled edge rusher.
That's right.
So what do you think that does for the Trey Hendrickson negotiations? Because Pittsburgh got what they wanted. The highest paid in the league. I'm not 100% sure of that. But you know what? It's the Steelers, and they usually try to take care of their own. They're a legacy franchise, so they like guys, somebody good. They want them to stick around. Look at Palomalu, Hines Ward. You can go back, Big Ben, guys like that. But what do you think, man? Does he deserve to be the highest paid non-quarterback in the history of the league? And this is the second time that he's been the highest paid defensive end or non-quarterback in the league.
That's right. And there's a reason for that. And there's a lot of players that are really close to his level or at his level. And we're talking about the Myles Garretts, the Trey Hendricksons, and 2 other guys who have to get paid. And now, like you said, the market is up for Micah Parsons and your boy Aiden Hutchinson, how much they're going to get paid because they're younger. So you would have to imagine they're going to get their 4 years and, I don't know,
$200 million.
I mean, forget about it. It's going to be an insane amount of money. That's why you want to pay early. But Cincinnati is in a position where they absolutely have to do this. They look at what Pittsburgh did. They know Baltimore's a really good team. Cleveland, all right, forget about it. But Cincinnati, if they want to contend, they have to have the leading sack leader from last year be on their roster and play well. Shamar Stewart, they can't sign him. They can't get anything else going on defense. Again, they brought in a new D coordinator, so that may help. But you got to have your best defensive player out there.
Exactly. And by him, setting the market like that, I always get a little leery when a non-quarterback kind of sets the market, like that for their position, because you can look at even guys, now you're going to have guys like on the Giants, you're going to have guys like Kayvon Thibodeau sitting there next year, probably wanting $35-38 million. Aiden Hutchinson, and this is realistic, Aiden Hutchinson could be the first $50 million
Oh my God.
edge rusher.
Wow.
But, let's look at TJ for a second. He's got an opportunity to do a few things this year. He's got 108 career sacks. His brother's got 114 or 114 and a half. So he's got an opportunity to pass JJ. Then he's got an opportunity to pass two Indianapolis Colts teammates. He's got an opportunity to pass Mathis first and then Dwight Freeney to break into the top 20.
How about
My
that?
question to you is, when we look at the landscape of the NFL right now and how edge rusher has become such a premium position, Bruce Smith is the only player in history with 200 sacks. Do you see anybody currently playing coming close? I mean, TJ Watt is the best right now outside of Myles Garrett. But he's got 108. He would need another 93 sacks to break Bruce Smith's record, which means he would have,
he would have to average about 15 sacks
for the next
6 years.
7 years. 7 years. Does that sound realistic? I'm just throwing something out there.
That's hard to do, especially as he gets into his later, mid to late 30s. That's going to be really hard to do, to rack up those amount of sacks. That's tough. I mean, God, we know that he can do 22 and a half. He's done it before. He's tied the record. But, I mean, that's not going to happen every year. That's a great question, man. I mean, if anybody can do it, he's probably one of the guys who can. But, God, man, that is really hard to do, especially
that's being elite every year for the next 6-7 years. And you look over the sack list. Let me ask you one question real quick. When you look at the top, let's look at the top 10 because that's where this guy falls. When you look at the top 10 sack leaders of all time, there's one name that sticks out to me that nobody ever talks about. And that would be former Minnesota Viking Chris Dolman. Who's sitting there with 150 sacks. When was the last time you ever heard, outside of guys like you and I who know what we're talking about?
Yeah.
When was the last time you heard like a casual say, hey, well, how about that Chris Dolman?
Right.
And I was just looking over the sack list a couple days ago just for craps and giggles. It's like, wow, nobody ever talks about Chris. They'll talk about John Randall till they're blue in the face.
Right.
They'll talk about Jared Allen till they're blue in the face. But he's got 150. He's got more than both of those guys.
Now, I don't want to take anything away from Chris Dolman, but in large part, he's got them sack numbers because of John Randall and Jared Allen. He had those guys to take up some double teams, so he was able to get in there. But I don't want to take anything away from him. He was a 49er for a short time period. Yep. Give him his due. When you get that many sacks, you deserve to be up there, no doubt. So that's real well done. Like you mentioned, TJ Watt, highest non-paid quarterback. The list goes down to Jamar Chase at $40 million, Myles Garrett at $40 million, Danielle Hunter at 35, Max Crosby 35, Justin Jefferson 35, Nick Bosa at 34, and then CeeDee Lamb at 34. These guys are making a lot of money, and as you see, it's wide receivers and defensive ends who are getting paid.
And there's a lot of people that used to think that the wide receiver was kind of going the way of the running back. Oh, you can just throw any guy in there and he can catch the ball, and that's really not the case. I've never been a CeeDee Lamb fan. I still think he might be, to me, probably one of the most overrated guys in the league. But, he's a Cowboy, so that accounts for something in their eyes.
Helps.
And then the fact that they don't have anybody else. Now, speaking of receivers, and we touched on this a little bit, there's still a guy out there, Jay, that's still very disgruntled and very pissed off about his contract situation. And that would be one Mr. Terry McLaurin.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to happen there? So, is he going to be a $30 million? He's at what, $25 million now?
Yeah.
What's going to happen with him, man? They got to do something quick. The season's, 50 days away.
I'm with you. And the thing is, are they playing this game with him? Are they saying, are you really going to hold out for $25 million? And it's, God, that's hard to do, man. But at the same time, yeah, he deserves his contract and they should pay him. He's been a trooper through and through for the past 6 years. He's been on that team, been through all the bad stuff. And now he's doing everything good. Last year, 13 touchdowns he had receiving. I think that's a Washington record, as a matter of fact. Receptions are up, everything. Jayden Daniels, obviously a big part of that. And if you want Jayden Daniels to progress and keep getting better, you're going to need a top 10, 15 wide receiver like Terry McLaurin is to be on that team. So they got to go ahead and pay him while they have this window open where you're not paying Jayden Daniels. You got to pay the other guys. And that's why they bring in a guy like Von Miller.
Yeah, I agree. And you mentioned it. You hit it right on the head. And a lot of people don't look at the long term of this. They say, well, just pay the guy. Well, it now or don't pay the guy. But the problem is that you end up, if you don't pay him now, you end up in a situation like the Bengals, to where you got two guys. You got both of your wide receivers making goo gobs of money. You got
Mm-hmm.
your quarterback making goo gobs of money. Cincinnati didn't really take advantage of the fact that they had Joe Burrow on that early contract and then signed guys. They waited, till basically Joe Burrow was already a 40, $50 million guy. Then you ended up having to cough up what, 40 million you say for
Yeah, for
Chase,
Chase.
and
And then
Higgins
Higgins
is what,
gets 28.
you know what I mean? So if you're the Commanders and you're serious about going forward and being a serious threat, not just a division winner and a playoff contender, but a Super Bowl contender, he's the best player on your team right now, other than your quarterback. You have to sign him. And the fact that you're waiting so long, I thought I was going to talk to you about this. If you thought that maybe Cincinnati was playing the waiting game with Hendrickson to see what Pittsburgh did with Watt. But right now, as far as receivers go, there's really nobody else out there for them to kind of play that game with, if you know what I'm saying. So give the man his money. If he wants $32 million, give it to him. And, I'm all for guys playing out their contracts, whatever, because if you play bad, you're not going to give any money back. But you play well, you want your instant gratification. That's just the age we live in. But they got to pay him, Jay. They got to get this done and over with before the season, because now it starts to rack the nerves of your young quarterback. And then you
Right.
don't want it to affect the morale of your team.
Right, and McNiner's all over that. He's saying Scary Terry is reliable, hasn't missed many games, and is productive. You're
Exactly.
absolutely right. You want that guy. He's a good guy, too, locker room guy. Everybody loves him. He's the guy you want on your team for years and years to come, and until he runs out, literally. So, yeah, I'm with both you guys. Absolutely. Scary Terry's got to be there. No question about it. And McNiner's jumping in with the Bengals are horrible about their contracts. They pay a select few and haven't signed their first-round pick yet, because they want an out on his contract. Yeah, it's the Bengals, man. Things just don't look good. I mean, their defense is in full effect also. We're not looking good. It doesn't make them look any better. As we say, what's up to Steve-O as well.
What's up, Steve? How you doing?
With the Debo effect in the house, my goodness, what's Debo going to do for Washington? I really hope nothing good. I mean, I want all the best for Debo, but for God's sake, I mean, leave me alone over here.
Right. And as a Giants fan, I hope they don't sign him. I hope, but realistically, I mean, if we're talking for just a broad brush, football perspective, you got to pay the guy, man. There's no
sense.
reason for them to keep playing this game. You got the money.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're
Gotta
not
do
really
it.
paying anybody else on that team. And then, if you wait and then you end up having to drop 50 mil a year for Jaden Daniels, that's going to kind of, but Jay, you know this as well as I do. Washington historically has not been a team that, goes out and drops big bags on these guys.
No, you're right. They don't. And if you're not going to drop money, then it's going to be hard to win. You got to pay certain players if you want to get up there. I mean, they're few and far between those Patriots teams where they weren't paying anybody. I mean, they're just well coached, great quarterback. I mean, you're not going to find that all the time, and they're not built around the corner. I mean, that's just the way that it goes.
Well,
I mean, that's it.
And let me ask you a question, and I'll ask this to the chat too. Right now, not only the window that you have with Jaden Daniels on a rookie contract, but how long does Cliff Kingsbury stick around? Do you end up with a Ben Johnson situation in a year or two? So I mean, Jay, you hit it right on the head, man. You talk about a window. That window may be not just solely reliable on how long Jaden Daniels stays good, but it could also rely a lot on how long Cliff Kingsbury decides to stay with that franchise before he takes another shot being a head coach.
Sure, and he definitely will. He will get another shot. If we know something about the NFL, they love to give second, third, and fourth chances. So they will definitely be doing that. There's no doubt. Steve-O, the Commanders owner and the 76ers and the Devils. Yeah, that's right. Josh Harris, that's right. He's the owner of all those teams. My goodness. Well, maybe his Commanders will do something. I've been really high on the Chargers, and some people have been downplaying Justin Herbert a little bit. They came out with the ESPN top 10 quarterbacks, and he was in there. There was some blowback on it with him, but with a whole lot of other things, and we're not going to go through the whole list. But I got to tell you, man, I'm high on the Chargers. I know that Mike Williams did retire, but they did sign their second-round draft pick, Trey Harris. I like that. I mean, they're not loaded. Will Disley is their tight end, in case anybody was wondering, because they're really not known. But Ladd McConkey came out. Najee Harris a little banged up right now, but they're going to rely a lot on Omarion Hampton. That defense was number one last year, only lit up 17.5 points a game, something like that. They got a bunch of good players. I don't need to go through the whole roster. But I'm thinking that the Chargers are going to be one of those teams that you really need to look out for. They do have a tough schedule. They have a tough division. There's no doubt. And when you look at Justin Herbert's number from last year, 23 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, I think that he's going to have to do a little bit more, even though I see John Harbaugh wanting to run the ball as much as possible.
I do too. And the fact that Najee Harris, Mr. Playing with Fireworks, probably is on the, he's on the pup list. There's, he'll probably be ready when the season goes, but who knows how that injury is going to affect him long term. Even, whether it's actual or whether it's something that people just perceive. But we talked about it, right before the show. You got a 5th round receiver that you're signed. You got your 2nd rounder in Trey Harris. You got Ladd McConkey and you got Quentin Johnson. Now, I will say this about Quentin Johnson. I think he caught like for 400 yards 2 years ago. Up that to like 700 yards last year. And his last game of the season, I think he had like $180. He had like 13 catches and $180. So they're hoping that momentum can carry over, and this is finally the year that he puts himself in that top 15 conversation, maybe top 12 conversation of good receivers. We all already know Ladd McConkey's really good.
Yeah.
But I think it's time for Quentin Johnson. He's got all the physical tools. There's no reason for that guy to not be better than what he's been the last 2 years. And maybe, it's kind of like we talked about a little bit with Rich Gannon. Other guys, there's some guys that just take a few years to get acclimated. So for the Chargers' sake, I hope that this is that year that Quentin Johnston really steps up, because, like you said, 23 picks or 23 touchdowns, 3 interceptions for Herbert. You kind of picture him doing more than that. You kind of picture him like a 30 touchdown kind of guy. The only way he's going to do that, man, is if he can get the most out of that receiving core, which is very young, very, in relation to everybody else. And their wide receiver room is not very deep at all.
No, look at this McKnight mentioning another great wide receiver, but his son, who hasn't done anything yet for that franchise. McKnight jumping in there. Good knowledge right there. Love it. Love it from the crowd right there. But yeah, the Chargers, look, to me, they have everything that you do need to go ahead and win a championship. The problem with them is that they haven't even won a playoff game yet. So they don't even have that experience of winning and getting that feeling and getting over. They lost a terrible game to the Jaguars, and they lose last year to the Houston Texans. I mean, these are games that they should have won, that they were teams they were better than. The defense, at the worst time, didn't show up. Let's see if they can turn it around a little bit this year. And you were talking about guys missing time at wide receiver and missing reps, and there's going to be one in Rashee Rice that's going to miss more time. Unfortunately, he had there was a whole big incident, again, with the car crash last year, and he's actually sentenced to 30 days in jail, which he can serve at any time within the 5 years that he's on probation. Very weird. I don't know how that all works, but he's going to probably miss maybe 6 games, and that's pretty significant. This is a guy that can't stay on the field, whether it's injury or he's getting in trouble, and he's a vital part of that Chiefs offense.
I agree, but I also wonder, though, too, that a lot of people were kind of like, Rashee Rice will be back. He'll be back. I'm not really 100% sold on that guy. I don't think that the Kansas City, and I could be wrong because you got Patrick Mahomes, I don't think Kansas City's season lives or dies with Rashee Rice. I think Kansas City's proven that they have the knack to lose a guy like Tyreek Hill and not miss a beat. Rashee Rice may be the next guy that kind of falls in that category. I do think it would have helped him a hell of a lot if he was there, but I still see Kansas City being, right now at least, being the cream of the crop, until somebody dethrones those guys, even if they don't win the division this year, which a lot of people aren't picking him to. But I think that it's just the mental thing. Guys are, and what is it with wide receivers and getting in trouble? What is it with that? Is there something? Is it something inherently built in the wide receiver's DNA that,
Absolutely.
I got to go out here and screw up? Because we got one here in Detroit, J-Mo, who just up until last year, just getting in trouble, whether it's cars or whether it's
Well, you know what it
betting
is.
or whatever, man. What is it with these guys?
It's because they got the helmet on all game and on the sideline, nobody can see their face, so they got to get themselves on TV one way or another and show
With a mugshot.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. That's the way they're gonna do it. Unbelievable, freaking. Yeah, but kids are kids, man. Not an excuse, but geez, man, they got to learn, grow up sometimes. My God, Jordan Addison, another one who got in a little bit of trouble. He's probably gonna get suspended by the league as well, which is not good for rookie quarterback JJ McCarthy, who needs as much help as he can get. That's going to be I mean, look, you still got Justin Jefferson over there and TJ Hawkinson. They got other players, don't get me wrong, but Jordan Addison is no freaking slouch, man. That is one of the best duos in the entire league. And, yeah, that's going to hurt McCarthy's growth.
It is, but, but you call it because you kind of got a lot of faith in the Vikings and what they could potentially do this year. Kevin O'Connell's he's a really good coach. He's a really good play caller. They'll find somebody, if Addison – whatever happens with Addison, or be it sentencing or injury or whatever, I think Minnesota, Kevin O'Connell proves that he can find a way to win. When Hawkinson was out for all those games, Minnesota was still finding a way to win.
Yep. And
it will be a little bit more difficult because you got a rookie quarterback who's unproven and he's coming off an injury. But, I still have the Bears finishing ahead of the Vikings in that division, but I wouldn't be totally surprised if Minnesota just goes on to win, 11, 12 games and surpasses the Bears, as far as my prediction goes. But, yeah, these guys out here, they got to get it together. They're making too much money. You got too much going for you to do stupid shit.
Yes. Stop doing stupid shit. I mean, aren't there veterans in their ear don't they listen to anybody?
No.
I mean, they don't. Obviously, they're not listening to their freaking parents. I mean, their parents are not condoning these actions. I mean, for God's sake, you got coaches, you got so many people looking out for you, veteran players, and you go ahead and you do the stupid stuff, and then there are just repeat offenders who do it over and over again. And it's like, why can't you learn? You have all this money. Why are you trying to screw up your entire life? I don't get it. Just some people are stupid.
And then the thing too, what you got to also realize is that you're only going to be making money like this for so long.
Yeah.
You need to be taking advantage of every year, every month, every week that you can go out there and put on, represent the shield, man. You gotta be smarter about that. But we're not here to chastise guys and what they do. But it's just it sucks because these are talented guys that we selfishly want to see on the field. And I was going to bring up Steve-O good looking, Judkins. There's some people think this guy was going to be contention for maybe offensive rookie of the year.
Yeah.
And, it's just, I don't know. Maybe we come from, I'm not even going to say it's a generational thing because you got a lot of young cats out here that do the right thing. But
and Steve-O brought up Shedeur Sanders too, driving 1,000 miles an hour, trying to do Back to the Future shit going into
right. A little time travel there.
Absolutely.
Marty
McFly, McFlying all over the freaking street. You got to take it easy over there. Don't do that dumb shit. Come on. But yeah, kids do stupid stuff. We know that. All right, let's change the tune up a little bit. You guys, we're going to do some more likely to happen first. This is prime time. This is a new favorite segment over here. Crazy ass shit. And we figure out what's more likely to happen first. So I'm going to say something nuts. And I'm going to say something even more nuts. And Prime is going to tell me which more nuts thing is likely to happen. All right, here we go. Let's see what we're saying real quick. Run with those things before the draft, though. That was before the draft with Shedeur, I believe it was. But then he did another one. He had 2 incidents with the car. But besides that, so let's move on as we pop it up over here. More likely to happen first. Okay, what's more likely to happen first, Prime? The Jaguars win their first Super Bowl, or America legalizes cocaine. What do you think of
this? That's actually a no-brainer. I'm gonna say America legalizes cocaine before the Jacksonville Jaguars get to the Super Bowl.
It's a cash crap, baby.
Papa J, what up, though? How you doing?
Papa J, what's going on, kid?
The Jaguars right now, the jury's still out. I know you're still kind of jury's out on Trevor Lawrence and what he's capable of doing. I still believe that Trevor Lawrence, this is the year where I'm not going to say it's like his year one, but he's been under, he's had some raw deals over the last few years, whether
Yeah,
it be
yeah,
coaching or lack of talent or whatever. I think, and I said it before, and you said this, Jacksonville's got to do a better job of getting some talent around him.
Mm-hmm.
You can't win in the AFC. You're not going to win with average guys. You're not going to win with a bunch of try-hard kind of guys like the going-to-work Pistons or something like that. You need studs in the AFC, and Jacksonville hasn't had that. So, but as far as cocaine goes, cocaine is, not that I've never indulged in cocaine ever in my life.
Me either.
But
not my thing.
it's the drug of choice for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It picks you up when you're down.
America wants to make money.
I mean, exactly. And he said, Papa J, what a great way to step into the chat. I mean,
good timing, Papa J.
cocaine is definitely more popular than the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, I know a lot
I
more
picked.
fans
Give me the. I'm not here. I'm not going to say give me the cocaine over the Jaguars. No, I'm not going to say that.
We hope that don't happen.
I will pick the America legalizing cocaine before the Jaguars win the Super Bowl.
But we'll actually secretly hope that the Jaguars actually freaking win the Super Bowl before that happens. Otherwise, the shit is gone right to shit. All the shit is shitted all over the place. So that'll be shit. All right. Speaking of shit, how about we get a new president or Geno Smith will win a playoff game? So we're going to get a new president in about, 2.5 years? Can Geno Smith win a playoff game before that?
No. No, and we talked about it we talked about the quarterbacks last week and the tier system. Just look, we talked about Lamar and Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes and Burrow, and once Patrick Mahomes goes away, those other guys are going to step up. That's when their window kind of opens a little bit. I think that because Bo Nix, I think the Broncos are going to stay better than the Raiders. I think the Chargers are going to stay better than the Raiders.
Yep.
I think the Chiefs definitely are going to stay better than the Raiders. And then, you look at the only team that they would realistically have a chance of maybe surpassing would probably be a team like the Steelers, who are kind of, this is like kind of it for them, depending on what happens with Mike Tomlin. Or maybe a team like the Houston Texans. But I still say that they're kind of miles ahead of them. So the Raiders got a lot of catching up to do just to get mediocre.
Just to get in the playoffs,
yeah,
man. They got
just to get in the playoffs, let alone win a game.
Right.
And do they have a true home field advantage? I mean, is this a team you can see going to Arrowhead and winning a playoff game? They're not going to be good enough to win. They're not going to win enough games to. What's that?
If Mahomes doesn't play, they got a chance to
exactly.
win.
So, but yeah, give me a new president before Geno wins a playoff game.
I'm kind of with you on that one, man. I got to say. All right. Let's see. What's our next one over here? All right. The sack record will be broken, or we will have another ice age.
Well, we kind of alluded to it earlier. And by the way, there's a lot of scientific proof. I'm going to nerd out for about 20 seconds. There's a lot of scientific proof that there's going to be stronger storms like on the East Coast. Maybe not as frequent, but like the East Coast, as far as the strength of a lot of these rainstorms and snowstorms over the next few years due to climate change or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, that's
meteorologist over here.
I am a big time nerd. I look up at the sky all the time. I'm stars and weather and all that. That's my thing outside of comic books and action figures. But but yeah, I don't know, man. What was the other one? I'm sorry. You said
it was another ice age, or the sack record gets broken.
Yeah, the sack record I don't think will ever be broken. When you like we alluded to a little bit earlier. You got T.J. Watt, Myles Garrett, got potentially Aiden Hutchinson, potentially Micah Parsons, and then who else? Maybe your guy Verse for the Rams could, maybe if he starts to really pick it up and heat up. But you're talking, like you said, let's just take Watt, 108 sacks right now. It's going to take him, what did you average it out to? 15 sacks a year for the next 6 to 7 years before he gets to the record. That's not going to happen, man. That's one of those unbreakable records to me. I don't see it happen. Just like all Rice's records. Jerry Rice's records are unbreakable. Bruce Smith,
can't touch them.
Lock it up, 200 sacks. The only guy to have 200, by the way. Reggie's got 198. It's never going to happen, man. It's never going to happen.
Papa J's going with the sack record, though, man. He's going with the sack. He doesn't think that ice age is coming. I don't know, man. Shit's getting crazy out there. There are floods all over the place. I don't know about this weather. It's getting freaking nuts.
I'll tell you what, Papa J, give me a name You said Bosa? No. We're not. We're talking about the all-time sack record.
Or even if you want to go even if you want to go with the single season sack record, 22 and a half. So TJ Watt and Strahan's bullshit. Brett Favre was a dick for doing that. I still can't believe that he did that. Here, let me just fall on the floor for you so you can have the sack record.
He was gonna get it anyway.
No.
That was the last game. That was the last game of the season, wasn't it?
That was the last game of the season, and Green Bay had no business even dropping back for a pass. They were
okay. Let's play devil's because you get something close to my heart when you're talking about the Giants here.
It's horrible. What happened?
Is it any different than a guy being in his last at bat and a pitcher just winging a one right down him? Bartolo Colon, the guy who had never hit a home run in his career. Last season, his very last season in the league, guy pipes him one right down the middle. Come on, Bartolo. Hit it if you can. Bartolo took it like 380 feet. I mean, come on. I mean, sometimes you need a little help. Sometimes you need a little help.
Record, man. This is the sack record. This is not some pitcher going out there and smacking a home run because he weighs 503 pounds.
Oh, come on. What are you doing? Come on. All right, I'll give you that one. But yeah, I don't think the sack record's ever going to be broke. Not the all-time sack record.
Maybe not. Bruce Smith may hold on to that one for a while. Who knows?
All right, let's do Colon. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we talk about Bartolo Colon on the Power 32.
How about that? All right, here we go. Let's do a family-oriented one over here. Deion Sanders will win a college championship, or Shedeur will win a playoff game.
Ooh.
Papa James, nice Agent Lambeau Field every year. Yeah. So Deion wins a college championship or Shedeur wins a playoff game. Which happens first, if either?
And I'm kind of leaning with Steve-O to say neither, but if I had gun in my head, I would probably say Shedeur wins a playoff game. Maybe 4 or 5 years from now. I don't even think let's just throw it out there on the table. I don't think Deion Sanders is going to be in college for another 4 or 5 years. So by the time Cleveland gets good enough to even contend for a playoff spot, I think Deion will be gone. And the only way he's going to win a national championship is if he waits out. I forgot to coach Florida State. I thought he actually was going to come full circle and ended up coaching Florida State before they hired I don't know these guys' names. The last Florida State coach I remember is Jimbo Fisher. He hasn't coached there for like 20 years. Yeah, that was the one before this guy, Mike somebody. But they went 2-10 last year after being a playoff team the year before. But I digress. I would say Shedeur wins before Deion wins a national championship, simply because I don't think Deion will be in the league in college. I'm sorry. By the time the Browns are good enough to win, a playoff game, I think he'll be out of college before.
And I just love Steve-O's sarcasm here. Does he have to start? So does he have to get credit for the playoff win to be? Yeah, he's got to start.
No, I mean, hey, well, you know what? That's a really good question,
right?
That's a really good question because we saw Joe Flacco go on a run.
Right.
He crapped the bed in the playoffs. He 5 interceptions, 4 turnovers, 5 turnovers.
Yeah,
come on,
something ugly like that.
I lost a couple biscuits on that, but anyway.
Papa J saying Shedeur win a playoff game with the Browns. That's pretty freaking funny right there. Not going to happen. I love these. All right, let's do a few more. What do we got here? We did the Deion one. Let's do, all right. Bill Belichick retires from football or Cam Ward makes a Pro Bowl.
Ooh.
Which will happen first? Cam Ward is good enough to make a Pro Bowl or Bill Belichick calls it quits for good from football?
Man, I think, there's already rumblings that he probably won't last very long in North Carolina. So we can probably take that out of
That's up to his girlfriend. That's up
out of the equation. I mean, who wants to be in North Carolina? Really? They're good for tobacco and furniture. That's all they're good for. And the Blue Devils.
And Tar Heels.
Right. So, I don't know. I think Belichick might be out of coaching because let's face it. If you're an NFL team, and let's say he does make it the entire year at Carolina, and decides to come back to the NFL, who would hire Bill Belichick right now at his age as a head coach?
I don't know, man. I mean, what is he, 106 years old right now? I wouldn't hire
Isn't he
him.
in his, he's like 72, 73,
Yeah,
something
he's
like
like
that?
72 or something like that.
There's no
Yes.
way. I mean, I'm surprised Pete Carroll. Well, Pete Carroll looks. Guy hasn't aged since USC.
Man, you know what they're gonna do with Bill Belichick? They're gonna like Steve Hawking his ass. They're gonna like put like his brain like in some sort of like blender, regroup it, put it right back in some like robotic form of Bill Belichick, and he's gonna be coaching in like forever. AI Bill Belichick. AI.
Hey, it could happen right now the way technology's flying around.
Man,
But yeah, I think I'm going to go with Belichick, man. I think
yeah,
I'm
so
going
is
to go with
Papa
Belichick.
J. Papa J's going with Belichick being out of here before Cam Ward makes a Pro Bowl. I don't know. I feel like every quarterback makes a Pro Bowl because, like, most of them decide not to go. Oh, I got an elbow injury, or this one's going to whatever. They got a vacation, they don't want to go. So Cam Ward might make one and be like the 8th overall choice. Who the hell knows?
Right, he'd be like the alternate to the alternate to the alternate.
Yeah, Bill is older than Pete, right? By like a year or two,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah,
But look at the difference in like appearance. Pete Carroll still looks like he looks like he's 50 years old.
he looks young, man. He looks young.
It's all those years in California. When you're winning, it takes you age slower. But Belichick's had a rough last couple of years.
Yeah, it's been a little rough on him. It's been a little rough, but he's not rough right now. I mean, I don't know if he can still get it up, but if he can, he's probably got a really good time.
Oh my God,
Bill, yeah, he hit the fountain of youth with that girlfriend. He sure did. All right, let's do one more of these bad boys. All right, let's see. What's more likely to happen first? God forbid World War III breaks out or the Browns permanently get a decal on their helmet.
let me ask this question. I'll ask this to you, and I'll ask this to the chat.
Mm.
Is the Cleveland Browns helmet the ugliest helmet in all of sports?
By far. It's not even close. It's
So-
it's orange and brown. It looks like an Oriole took a shit. That's what it looks horrible. It looks absolutely ridiculous.
The whole color scheme is just ugly. It's just it's classic. No, it's not.
You know what I
So-
do like? Did you see their alternate for this year? They have a white helmet.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
That looks pretty cool, actually.
And actually, I'm glad you brought that up. There's a lot of fans out here that do like just alternate stuff just for the hell of it. And I've seen some really, really cool stuff like for the Lions and the Steelers and the
Yeah.
Seahawks and the Titans. And so there's these people out here, man, with these graphics. And these graphics folks, man, are pretty good. But let's ask the question. What logo would you put on the side of the Cleveland Browns? My thinking would be, just off the top of my head, would be something like a bulldog, like a dog,
yeah.
to represent the
Yeah.
dog pound, something
I'm
like.
with you.
But because of brown, what are you going to put? A piece of cake on the side? What are you going to put?
Yeah.
A piece of chocolate cake on the
What
side?
are
What are you gonna put?
you're going to put Paul Brown's face on the side of the helmet because that's the reason why they named the Browns. It was after Paul Brown. He's actually the mentor of that team. So you're not going to. That's why they named the Browns, in case anybody wanted to know. That's the reason why. That's how pathetic it is. They named it after a person's last name. This freaking football team that's been around for 100 years. Come on. They should be the dogs anyway. DAWGS.
He said, Steve-O says Brownie the L. Steve-O brought up a good point. He said the Bucks used to be the worst uniform with the creamsicle. I'm sure, Jay, you remember that. However, they get a lot of love, man, when they decide to wear those throwback uniforms. They get a lot of love, man.
People get nostalgic with that stuff, man. I think one of the worst is the Pittsburgh Steelers, like B uniforms. With
absolutely worst ever. My daughter, we were watching a Steelers game. This was some years ago, and she said that exact thing, that they look like bumblebees.
Terrible.
And they're the absolute worst. Really? Is that what we're going to do?
Ones, man.
The only thing that was missing was leather helmets and missing teeth on all their players.
What about the Packers' old ones with the blue and the yellow? What the hell happened there?
I don't like the Packers uniforms now.
Yeah, I don't know, me either. Yeah,
green and yellow just should not be allowed. Should not be. But let's ask a question real quick, chat and Jay. Who's got the sweetest uniforms in the NFL?
Ooh, you know what? I like the Broncos uniforms.
Which ones? The dark blue with the.
I like the dark blue ones, and then I also like the Bills Color Rush ones too. The Bills Color Rush is nice. I like that with the white helmet and the all blue. That shit looks good, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a little biased here. I think the Lions, when they redid the helmets, it's all about the helmet.
What, the black helmet?
The black helmet with the
That looks pretty
I
sick.
like the Ravens. That purple and black just pops.
Yeah, it does.
But I like I would say right now, and I'm being biased, I would say the Detroit Lions probably have the sweetest helmets or the sweetest uniforms. I like the Niners. I like the classic red and gold. But green and yellow, brown and orange, stuff like that should not be allowed. They should take a vote. That should be like in a CBA. Get rid of those uniforms.
You know what uniforms I used to like? Not the Seattle Seahawks uniforms now, but the ones that they had in like the mid-2000s, the Matt Hasselbeck and Sean Alexander years. That was a pretty cool color. Now, I shouldn't be saying that because I'm a 49er fan. That was a pretty damn good-looking uniform. I did like those. Those are all right. I mean, I don't know. What other this? Philly's got pretty cool uniforms, actually.
I like their black and green. I like the Giants uniforms,
of course you do.
I'll say this.
Giants uniforms look like pajamas, man.
I'll say this, and I'm going to get killed.
Oh, here it is.
The Dallas Cowboys, at night, when they're wearing the dark blue jerseys, there's just something about the way that the lights shine off of that star and those dark blue jerseys and the silver pants.
They should wear them more. I like those dark blue jerseys also. I really do. I don't know what, because their home games they wear white, and then usually home teams wear their colors, so they're wearing white on the road a lot as well. So they only break those out a couple of times a year.
And they're pretty nice. I'll just say it.
Yeah, it is what it is. Hey, we're objective on the show. That's how we do it. All right, we don't like the Cowboys. I don't want to talk about them anymore. We got a few over-unders I want to do over here for you. And some of them are around the Steelers because there's a lot of news with the Steelers right now. So a few over-unders as we go into the 2025 season, starting with Aaron Rodgers, who had a decent year last year, depending on how you want to look at it. Certainly not up to Aaron Rodgers' standards. But with the team that he has right now, does he have it in him to throw 25 touchdown passes, over or under for Aaron Rodgers, 25 touchdown passes this year?
I'm going to go under.
Okay.
I'll either take the even or I'll take under. I can't really, and then, I can see him maybe having a Justin Herbert type year, with the 23-3. There's really nobody for them to throw the ball to. Pittsburgh's offense is still not impressive to me at all. They got to do something. I don't know if it's a coordinator thing or if it's just an overall philosophy thing, but they need to do something, man, to where that offense comes into the 21st century, especially in that division with teams that can put up points. I would take the under. I could see him throwing like 24 touchdowns and 5 picks or something like that, or maybe depending on how he tries to force the ball to DK Metcalf, he may end up with the most interceptions that he's had in his entire career. But I'll take the under on that.
If those are his numbers, if he's doing 24-5, I like the Steelers' chances to make the playoffs and maybe do something because that look, they're very much like Denver, Pittsburgh. All right, obviously way different quarterbacks in age, but maybe around the same type of ability at this point in their career. But the bottom line is they both defense oriented and they want to run the ball. The problem with each team is I don't really see where they have such great running ability, and that's why I'm having a problem seeing them scoring points. I feel like Aaron Rodgers is really going to have to step his game up this year, and I don't know that he can do it. 25 touchdowns doesn't sound like a whole lot, but it really is when you only got DK Metcalf. I like Calvin Austin a little bit. We're not going to go through the whole roster. We're not going to sit here and go through all the Freiermuths and the Evan Ingrams and go on Denver over there and the guys that they tried to get, but it's their defense that's going to allow them to be what they are. And I think the difference between those two teams and the Chargers is that the Chargers are going to be able to put up those points. That's why I feel like the Chargers are better than Denver, better than Pittsburgh. Same type of team, defense, want to run the ball, but I feel like they have more to offer and good coaching.
Yeah. And I kind of agree with you a little bit on the Denver Charger comparison. They're almost identical teams, really. When you think about it, they have their receivers don't pop out at you.
Nope.
They got good coaching. They're going to run the football and they're going to play good defense. I talked about this a little bit last week that this is a pivot for Sean Payton because now he's playing with a team that has a really good defense. So they really don't have to rush Bo Nix into superstardom right now. They
True.
probably got another year or two before they really got to start putting the pedal to metal with him. You know, when they either start paying some of these defensive guys or start losing some of these guys to free agency. But I think the Chargers and the Broncos are kind of identical. I don't know if people agree with me on that. But yeah, it's Pittsburgh. It's going to be a tough haul for them, and especially like being in that division. This, I think, even with Aaron Rodgers, it's going to sound weird to say, this could be Mike Tomlin's biggest challenge.
Well, you see, Papa J is kind of agreeing with you in some respect over there, saying that the Steelers can make the playoffs because of Tomlin and not because of Aaron. And history says that, right, Prime? I mean, geez, they make the playoffs almost every year. Granted, they haven't won a playoff game in a really long time, but they haven't had the roster to do it.
No. And again, to me, I think it goes back to offense. I think we all know Pittsburgh's going to have a great defense, but it's just their offense has hindered them. I think their offense has really stopped Pittsburgh from being an AFC championship contender or at least winning a couple playoff games, you know, over the last, let's just take the last 5-6 years in particular. It's been really, really bad for them, man. And I keep saying it, we talk about it a lot. They got to step up their offense, man. If not, this could be a really bad season this could be Mike Tomlin's first losing season.
It's very possible. There's no doubt because, again, there's a lot. It's a good division, and there's a lot of good teams in the AFC, and they have a pretty decent schedule. It's not the hardest in the world, but they play some pretty tough teams. But I don't like to base things off of last year because it's a brand new year and new things happen. Papa J chiming in real quick that the Chargers are a great playoff team, but they are weak for wide receivers after Mike Williams retired. Yeah, we talked about that before. They just signed their guy Trey Harris, a second round pick, along with Lam McConkey on the team. We'll see what they can do. Again, Justin Herbert's got to step his game up a little bit more if they need him to. But again, that's the thing. That's not the type of football that they really want to play. That's why they got Najee Harris and Omarion Hampton. You don't draft a running back in the first round unless you plan on using him a ton.
Exactly. And if you really look at it, all four of the teams in that division, there's really not receivers that pop out at you. I mean, hell, you can make a case. That Brock Bowers is the best receiver in that entire division.
It's interesting. He had an unbelievable rookie year. And now I would say all being healthy, Kansas City, because again, I think Rashee Rice is that good. I don't want to say that he's a complete game changer because of the team he plays on. Mm-hmm. And you did a good job of explaining that earlier, how well-rounded of a team they are. And Patrick Mahomes, of course, can get the ball to anybody. But now you got Kelsey getting a little bit older. You need Hollywood Brown back healthy. They do have a good wide receiving core. And also, who am I missing? Xavier Worthy, their second year.
Oh, yeah, yep. Forgot about that, yeah.
So
kind of reminds me of Zay Flowers. That's who Rashee Rice kind of reminds me a little bit. He kind of reminds me of Zay Flowers, a guy that can be really good, but will he be really good?
Well, I think that he's got all that ability. And 2 years ago, he showed that he really broke out and started playing great ball all the way through the season. But last year, again, another story, getting hurt. I want to see him back, and I think that he's going to show that he's I don't want to say a top 10 wide receiver in the league, but he is a difference maker. He can make plays on the field, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. All right, I think that he can do some stuff, but I want to stick with the Steelers a little bit more. I got a couple more over-unders on them. Speaking of wins, we did go over this a little bit, but we're going to save our final answer for when we go through the divisions and make our predictions, but 8.5 wins. That's basically 500 right there. Over or under 8.5 wins as you see it now, and I will not hold you to it.
Let's see. Right now, I can't believe I'm saying this, I'm going to take the under.
You are.
I'm going to take the under simply because I think Cincinnati's going to be better. I think you're going to have a tough road to hoe just in your division outside of Cleveland. But Cleveland gives their division guys a little bit of problems. People underestimate
Every division is like that. Every division is like that.
So their bottom feeders always give the big boys a little bit of a challenge. I'm going to go out on a limb and say under for right now. I'm going to have to this is kind of like one of those wait and see things. And like I say, when we talk about the division, by the way, guys, we're looking for people to kind of kick it with us on the show in a couple weeks. about the division. So if you guys are interested or you know anybody or whatever, be a guest on the show. We're going to start breaking down the divisions on August 7th. We're going to go 2 a week for the 4 weeks leading up to the season. So if you guys want to chime in, be a guest, let us know. Again, we'll throw the number out there, 954-858-5863. Tell all your friends. But yeah, right now I'm going to take the under, Jay.
All right, I hear you. You know what? Let's have a little fun really, really quick. Go through their schedule real fast. They open up against the Jets. So, hello, Justin Fields. Win. All right. Next, they play the Seahawks at home. I'm saying that's a win.
That's a win.
Then they go on the road to New England. Interesting game right there. What do you think?
I could see them losing that game badly.
All right, let's say they're 2-1. Then they play the Vikings at home. J.J. McCarthy, a dome team going to the Steelers. I know it's not going to be cold September 28th, but I kind of like the Steelers in that game.
J.J. Watt or T.J. Watt versus J.J. McCarthy. Yeah, I'll take that. Give me.
All right,
so we're 3-1.
Then they're home against the Browns the next week. I would say that's 4-1.
Yeah.
Then they're on the road against the Bengals. I'll give them a loss there, 5-2.
Yeah.
Or 4-2.
4-2.
Right? 4-2. Then they host the Packers at 4-2. All right, that's a hard game. Packers.
You don't like the Packers. You're not high on, and I don't either.
I'm not high on them. I'm really not. I know they're a good team, but they're not a great team.
I think they're better. I think they're better than the Steelers. So we're 4-3.
All right, we're 4-3. Then they host the Colts. I think they win that game. They're
5-3.
Then they go on the road to play the Chargers. I believe they lose that game, 5-4.
Yeah.
All right. Then they host the Bengals. I'm going to say they split with the Bengals. So I'm going to give them the win right there. That's how it goes, man. They split these games. I'm going to go 6-4 right now. Then,
so they got to win 2. They got to win 3 of their next 7 games to.
So 6-4 going in to play the Bears in Chicago.
Loss.
All right,
I think the Bears will hit their stride by week 11. I think we'll really know what the Bears are about. And I'm like, I've said it before, made no bones about it. I like the Bears roster. I can see them. I can see. So now we're 6-5.
All right, now here's where they start getting into surprise.
Yep. Here we go.
They host Buffalo. That's probably a loss. They go on the road to Baltimore. Probably a loss.
Now you're 6-7.
They host the Miami Dolphins. They should beat that team. They should beat them.
What week is that? That's week 3. Yeah.
Miami does not win games in December in cold weather places.
They cross the Mason-Dixon line. They don't win.
There you go.
When it's cold.
Now we're 7-7. Then they play your Detroit Lions in Detroit.
That's a loss.
That's a loss. 7-8. Then they go on the road and play the Browns. Can they beat the Browns twice?
Yes. I'll for craps and giggles, I'll say yes. So that puts you at 8 wins.
8-8 with the last game of the season hosting Baltimore Ravens.
Nope. There's your 8-9, baby.
There's your 8-9. That's how
I might take that to Vegas.
Oh boy.
Yeah, they're not.
So going under on the 8.5 right there. We just told you how it was going to happen. Man, do I love it. What's this cat? David McKnight, Karen Rogers to DK Metcalf and 2 divas. I love it.
That's
saying he's a diva. Oh,
that's a match made in somewhere, not heaven, but it's made somewhere. I guess
it's somewhere. All right, another new Steeler, Jalen Ramsey, getting thrown out of games 0.5 times. How many times do you think he's going to get thrown out of a game this year? Because I do.
You say 0.5?
0.5.
Yeah, 1. Yeah, I'll take the over on that.
He's getting tossed, man.
Why they did, I still, there's been a lot of questionable things that we talked about during this offseason and the draft and everything. And I'm sure guys in the chat feel that kind of way too. That's, to me, one of the most questionable moves, especially Pittsburgh. Usually they make smarter moves than that. I mean, all things being equal, they're probably equally talented. But just from a teammate and a player, conduct and just a guy that you want in the locker room, I'd take Minkah Fitzpatrick over Jalen Ramsey any day of the week.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I feel like Minkah's even a little bit more versatile. Jalen Ramsey's versatile. Don't get me wrong. They could both play corner and safety. They know the secondary very well. But I like Minkah a little bit more. I think that getting Jonnu Smith was kind of the kicker in that one.
I do too. Is Jalen Ramsey still good though?
He is.
Jay?
He has
is
a
he
hard
still
time
good?
He's good. He has a hard time staying on the field, but he's not as good as he was when he first came out. He's not that 22, 24-year-old kid anymore. He's not. Now he's in his 30s, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's still not growing up.
Yeah,
that's the problem. He don't have a Lowry's. He's not seasoned. He doesn't have a Lowry's or the what's the other one? The Tony I can't forget it right now. I use it all the time. I got some in my cupboard right now. the little seasoning. But yeah, he's not, I don't know, man. He's one of those guys. He could be a lot better to me. As he got older, I thought he'd get a lot better, but he seems to be getting a little, I don't know, he's just frustrated or wants out, just wants to play, wants the money, but he doesn't want to play up to the level of the money that he's getting and up to the reputation that he has. And that's my biggest.
It's interesting you say that because Ramsey has been known to be a tough guy throughout his career, but Steve-O making a point saying Ramsey don't want to tackle anymore. He's trying to save his body. He wants to make his money. He wants to be healthy. In a way, I don't blame you, but you know what? You're playing football, man. You're out there doing your thing. You got to make.
Well, he probably wants to do movies when he's all said and done. That's probably.
He really does. I'm sure he does. He wants
go by the way of Dwayne Johnson. John Cena start doing movies.
Yeah, right. Get on that level. Unbelievable. All right, let's do a few more before we get out of here. Sticking with the Pittsburgh Steelers, T.J. Watt got that big deal today, man. Richest man that is not a quarterback in the NFL, $41 million a year. So. Will his sack number be 18.5, over or under?
Oh, under.
Under 18?
I don't, and I'm not going to jinx the guy, but I don't think he stays healthy all year. I don't think he stays healthy the full year. 18.5 sacks would put him at 126.5, which would put him at like 19 on the list, because like I say, he would pass his brother, who's not in the top 20, but then he would pass Mathis and Freeney. I think they're one's at 120, one's at 123, something like that. So that would put him like 19 or 18 on the list. I don't see 18.5. I mean, granted, you play the Browns twice, and there's a couple teams in there that you could, but that you could probably beef up the stats a little bit. 18.5 sacks is a lot. That's a lot of sacks, man.
But he's capable of doing it.
That's one a game, and we know he forces a lot of fumbles. I think he'll have, if I had an over-under on forced fumbles, I could probably take the over on that. But the sacks, 18.5 sacks, I agree, Papa J. Hell no.
Okay. All right. Hell yeah, Papa J saying hell no on that one. I would probably take the under 2, but I put that number high because he's capable of doing it. All right, a few more over here. Laramie Tunsil, I got an interesting one for you over here. Laramie Tunsil, now the newest Washington commander over there on the offensive line. This guy is known for going offsides, false starts, all that sort of stuff.
Bong hits.
Yeah, right.
Over on
it. Bong hits anybody? Yes, please. All right, so 12.5 false starts for Laramie Tunsil this year. He had 12 last year.
Ooh. I would have to
think. New quarterback, new cadence.
I would have to think that that's probably the first thing that Cliff Kingsbury and the offensive staff looked at when they got Tunsil over there. I'm going to say under. And that's just, for me, that's by default going to I don't know if better set of coaches. I think that might be a little bit exaggerating. But I think in that offense, you got to be disciplined. And Washington right now, they're still a young team as far as their quarterback and stuff. They can't be a team that's going to go out here and start committing stupid penalties. And here's the thing, Jay, let me ask you this. If he does start getting a rash of false start calls, how long does he start?
Oh, man, too much money, too important, too good of a player. He really is, and that's why other teams have been willing to put up for them as long as they have. But that's why they also trade him, so I see your point in that. It's just, he is really that good of a player. It's just, how many times can you commit these penalties? And again, I think that with the new quarterback and a new cadence, that may be an issue to start off early. I mean, I can see him honestly having 5 penalties in the first couple of games. Right off the bat, right? Easily.
Wow. So I'm assuming you're taking the over.
I'm taking the over on that one, man. This guy.
We might have to revisit that. I wonder. We'll look at Vegas and see if there's any prop bets on that. And,
I might. By the way, I did take that bet on Dak Prescott. I put some money down on him winning the MVP.
What was that? You did the plus 4,000 though, didn't you?
Plus 4,000.
That's it.
Yeah. Jeez. Had to do it, man. Had to do it.
You got to.
Had to do it. It was sitting right there.
Who
I'm
said
like,
that last week on the show? Was it City or was it Papa J or Steve? One of the guys said it was plus 3,500 at the time.
right, yeah.
That's
Yep.
I'm thinking I got to do that. I got
And
to
I got
make
it
that
at
move
4,000.
before it goes down to like plus 200.
That's what I'm saying. What? Right after week 1, he throws 5 touchdowns, no interceptions, 400 yards.
He'll be like minus 110.
Yeah, right. I'll be sitting there flipping, man, going crazy. Oh, jeez. All right, Jamar Chase is an absolute killer, dude. 17 and a half touchdowns, over or under,
Ooh.
because he can do it.
How many touchdowns Burrow had last year? 43? 40 plus.
Burrow, yeah, 44, something like that, yeah.
Mm.
Now you got T. Higgins playing more if he stays healthy.
Yeah.
So then we spread it around.
And Jamar Chase really doesn't have like a injury history.
Do you think Jamar Chase is the best wide receiver in football? Because I do. I'm convinced.
It's a close. I love me some Justin Jefferson, man.
I do too.
I love me some Justin
and
Jefferson.
You can't take into account Joe Burrow is one of the top quarterbacks, and Minnesota has not had that. And Justin Jefferson has made Sam Darnold look good amongst Kirk Cousins. And
I mean,
so,
but
you know
I would say, all things being, I mean, if I would say Jamar, but you're talking photo finish, Kentucky Derby, winning by like a nostril hair. If that's even a unit of measure. But yeah, I'll take Chase very, very slightly.
All right.
I think the explosivity is there. I think Jamar Chase Justin Jefferson's a really good route runner. One of the smartest receivers in the league.
Definitely.
If you ever hear the guy sit down and do an interview and talk football, it's just I could listen to it all day. Jalen Hurts is like that too, by the way, and C.J. Stroud. Just if you put that out there. But yeah, I would take. It's very slim, but I think Jamar Chase maybe a little bit faster, a little bit more shifty. But like I say, man, that's probably the closest comparison you can have, as far as two guys, as far as who's the best.
No doubt. And they did rank the wide receivers or whatever it's worth on ESPN, and it was Jamar Chase number 1, Justin Jefferson number 2. Papa J saying that Jamar Chase might go over. And listen to this one from Papa J. Joe Burrow is the best quarterback in the NFL. Yeah, I said it. Oh boy, did you say it over there. Look.
Oh, by the way, I'm going to take the under. On 17
the under on 17 and a half?
Yeah, that's a lot of touchdowns for a receiver. You don't see that often.
No, you don't. He could do it, though. That's why I put that number high. I'm not going to make it at 12 and a half because that's too damn easy. But, you see now Steve-O's arguing.
Uh-oh, they're arguing. Here we go.
Yeah,
here we go. I love it.
Joe Burrow's number 1, Brock is number 2. I love it. I love it. I wish that was true. I wish Brock Purdy was the second best quarterback in the NFL. Maybe we would have won a Super Bowl.
Oh my God, that might be the chat quote of the year right there. Brock number 2.
Brock.
Wow.
Hey, all right. Saquon Barkley had an amazing year last year, over 2,000 yards. Can he follow it up with another great season? Not quite as many yards, but 1,700 yards, over or under for Saquon?
I'm going to go under.
Under,
and simply because I think for whatever reason, and this is just my opinion, there's so much talk about Jalen Hurts and not throwing the football and not being a throwing quarterback and not putting up gaudy numbers. Mm-hmm. Philly almost has a mulligan this year to where they can kind of experiment with some things here and there. And I think this might be the year where you start to see Jalen Hurts throw the ball more, get the receivers, more involved in the offense. I think this is a year where, he may end up throwing for 4,200 yards, something like that.
Wow.
I'm going out on a limb. But I think that will take away. I think that even though they don't have new coordinators, I think just a different mindset from Nick Sirianni and everybody. They got a year. They just won the Super Bowl. So they can pretty much do whatever they want. This will be an experimental year for Philly. They'll try some things we're probably not used to seeing from them. So I would think that would take away from Saquon's touches. He'll probably end up with more receiving yards this year than people think. But I can't see him having 1,700 yards rushing again. Unless he has just like a couple of monster games.
I mean, he can. To me, he's the best running back in the league, and I don't even think there's a question about it. I don't think anybody's. I don't want to say nobody's close to him. There are a lot of really good running backs out there. Don't get me wrong, but he is the best of the best. Steve-O's saying 1,200, maybe that an 800-yard drop off. Damn, man, I don't know. I think he's good for 1,500 or more. I really do. He's that amazing. They're still going to run the offense through him. While you have that guy, you want to do it. And I understand what you're saying. Jalen Hurts should take a step forward, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Your winning football formula is that you got a great offensive line and you want to move the ball and control the clock. That's how you do it.
If you're wondering why I just had that look off to the side, it's because my lovely wife came downstairs for a hot second. So
there you go.
Sorry, I got distracted. Shout out to my wife, Yana.
Well, I don't blame you.
And I need you guys to hear, while we're on the subject, real quick, 10 seconds. I need you guys to make sure thoughts and prayers with my daughter, Alasia. She's taking a trip to Spain, France, and Italy.
Oh, wow.
We're going on a little excursion over there. So I just want to make sure she stays safe.
God bless.
I don't want to have to turn into Liam Neeson. Because I do have a very particular set of skills, and I will be on the first flight to wherever she is if something goes bad. But we're going to pray over her, make sure she's all good and safe, and yada, yada.
You just have to – Liam Neeson is just a bad parent. Ryan Reynolds said it best in Deadpool. I mean, his daughter gets in trouble every fucking where she goes. He's just a horrible parent. There's something wrong with him. I mean, really.
Deadpool. Wow. Did we just mention Deadpool on the Power 32?
What a great movie, man. I love both of them. The third one, did you see the third one with Wolverine?
I'm going to be 100% honest with you and everybody in the world. I made it through halfway of the first one, and I have not watched. I'm not a Deadpool guy.
Are you serious, dude?
I am dead serious.
You're Deadpool serious.
Now, okay, we got a couple. We got 10 seconds, 15 seconds for this. Deathpool or Deadpool versus Deathstroke. Who you got?
Deadpool is the comedic villainous genius, like sex boy, whatever you want to call him. The guy's the man. He's just the funniest dude. And you can't kill him.
I like my superheroes dark and with attitudes. That's why Batman's my favorite. I'll maybe next show or something. I got some Batman stuff I'd love to share.
You can't kill Deadpool. You can cut his head off and he's fine. He'll just come right back on. I saw Juggernaut rip him right in half. And he said, no problem. There are my legs. I'll put them right back on.
Who's your favorite superhero, by the way?
You know, I never really gave that thought, but if I had to say, probably Thor.
Why did I know that? I was gonna say he's probably like a Thor or Superman guy. Never been a Superman, never been a Spider-Man. Like I said, Batman is my first, Green Lantern is my second, Wolverine's my third, Iron Man is my fourth. And the reason why Iron Man is fourth for me in my top five, because him and Batman, they're not powerful. They're not super power guys. They're just rich. And they got attitudes, and they just got a lot, especially Batman. They'll sit there and watch his parents get.
Iron Man is in my top five. I will agree with that. Iron Man's in my top five.
And Wonder Woman actually is number five.
Well, Wonder Woman's like number one for me. I mean, especially Gal Gadot, like the real Wonder Woman who plays her in the movies. Holy crap. I am in love with her. She is just so hot.
You know that when they do and chat's probably like, what the hell are they talking about? You know, when they do the Wonder Woman 3, they decided to go forward with that, I guess. So they're recasting Wonder Woman. Gal Gadot is not going to be Wonder Woman anymore.
Yeah, that sucks, man. That's too bad.
So, but yeah, just overall as a super, she's like a god. You know, I mean, as far as as far as looks, but as far as like her powers and stuff, she's like a demigod, man. She's Wonder Woman's badass. You really read the comics and get into the origin stories and stuff of Wonder Woman. She's a lot more powerful than a lot of people think.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it, bro. Yeah.
All right, that's our comic take for today, ladies and gentlemen.
That's our comic take. All right, I want to end it off with this. This is a serious question now, because the Watt brothers are as good as you get at their positions. They're going to be first ballot Hall of Famers. We've been talking about TJ Allshow. JJ now retired. He's a 3-time defensive MVP.
That's crazy.
Are they as good, better, worse, hold a candle to Eli and Peyton Manning?
Why are you doing this?
I have to be.
Why you wait till the end of this fucking show? The end of the freaking show. Now you want to throw Eli quit. What are we doing here, Chad? What is he doing to me?
I got to mess with you, man. I mean, they are just as good at their position, I feel like, as...
Okay. No.
Maybe not Peyton. Maybe not Peyton.
Here's why. Yeah, right. They don't have any rings.
Okay, that's a
They
good
don't. They
answer.
never even come close.
But
So now it's
does the
physical as
defensive
far
end
as
have
being
more
just
say in
at
who?
their position collectively. You're gonna make me say it. Um, Collectively, man for man, I would probably say, man, yes, because out of the four, and oh god, here we go. Out of the four, Eli's probably the weakest.
Say that louder. What? I couldn't hear you.
Eli is probably the weakest link of the four.
Okay, just okay.
But he
Eli's,
still should be in the Hall of Fame, damn it, along with Richmond Webb. We say that every week here.
Damn
Richmond
right,
Webb for the
Richmond
Hall
Webb.
of Fame. But no, I would say, I mean, with the rings, man, there's 4 rings to not even, to the brothers Watts, not even coming close to a ring. So
Now that is fair. The only thing I would say in rebuttal to that, that's definitely a fair point. Defensive end doesn't have as much say in who wins the ring as
And,
much the quarterback.
I get that. I get that.
But that's definitely a great point. The rings speak everything. There's no doubt. And if JJ had a ring, that would make his career that much even better. But yeah, he played for the Houston freaking Texans. What the hell are you going to do? And Brock Osweiler is your quarterback, and Matt Schaub, and God knows who else. Jesus.
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun, yeah, right. That worked out for a while, man. We all thought that
bit.
he was going to be the next freaking coming, but he just came on some massage woman. So, sorry about that. I had to get that in there.
Papa J said it best.
Yeah,
Like
Papa
and subscribe.
J. Like and
Give us a
subscribe,
shout.
baby.
Follow on Twitter, all that stuff. We're everywhere. Like we
Yeah,
always
we'll
say
hit
every
you up
week. We're
right
on
back.
Twitter.
No doubt.
I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitch. We're both on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Give us a like, subscribe, follow. But
Yo,
again,
next week I want these guys calling in. I love the comments,
Yeah.
but next week I want you. We're gonna end the show now, but next week I'm gonna leave the number up there for next week. Obviously, I want you guys to call in the show. Call in for like 5 minutes. Speak your piece. I love you in the chat. Stay there. Don't go anywhere. Love it, but speak your piece, man. That's why we put the number up there.
we
Try
will
to be a
answer
little
the
bit different.
phone. We will answer the phone.
We'll
We-
answer. I got it right over here. We'll answer it. It'll be loud enough. We'll put you right on the freaking radio show, baby.
There you go.
We'll
Put
love
you
it.
on the spot. So
That's right. You better come correct.
I was gonna say we're not Jim Rome where you got to sit up here and like script your calls and all that. We're not.
No.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Steve-O, you know what? In the beginning of the show, I'll put out a whole bunch of topics of what we're going to do. We'll list them down. When you're ready to call in, you call in. Papa J, everybody, McNiner, all you guys out there. Love you. Appreciate you. Next week, yeah, we'll when you guys really should be calling in is when we do the divisions. Next couple of weeks, we're going to fool around like we did today, have a couple of crazy topics. You never know what we're going to come up with. But yeah, like Prime was alluding to before, we're going to start on August 7th, starting to break down the divisions, and we're going to do that every week up until the prediction show that Tuesday before the season kicks off on that Thursday. But we'll keep everybody updated with that.
And yeah, don't forget, guys, too, in the chat, if you guys want to be a part of the show for those division breakdowns, give us a shout. Like I say, we're on, both of us are on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, or leave a comment. Actually, you could I'm not going to put Jason out there and say text the call-in line, but just let us know over the next week or so. Next week's show, if you guys want to be on with the division breakdowns, we'll go ahead and get you guys on the show. We'd love to have you guys on the show. McNiner's been on the show before. It's always a great time we can get a guest on here, or 2 or 3. So, like I say, if you guys don't want to or whatever, just if you know somebody that does, football fans, and you don't have to be an expert. You just have to be willing and, take a little bit of criticism.
Yeah, there you go, right? Yeah, we like to open it up. We like to have the conversation. Look, me and Prime can talk all freaking day about football, but we like to enjoy and have some other people in there. And yeah, McNiner, yeah, buddy, you did agree. You've been on multiple times, I think, right? McNiner's awesome, man. He really knows his stuff, too. He's a great follow, man. Definitely check him out on Twitter, wherever you can find him. McNiner is a great follow. Steve-O, again,
Absolutely.
Papa J, you guys are great. And yeah, look, hey, we'll do it again next week. We'll be back, and I will keep you guys up to date with the topics. Would love for you all to call in. We'll keep the call-in number up there for next time. But for now, we're out. Peace, everybody.
Peace out.
Hour 32. We'll see you next time.